In this review, we're going to be looking at the Masters of the Universe Origins Man-at-Arms figure. These have finally started hitting pretty much throughout everybody's Walmart now, so we're going to take a closer look at looking to find the entire set. I'll be looking at each one of them. The packaging's really nice. It's very 1984 Masters of the Universe. They recreate it pretty well with the new for 20 up on the upper corner. The first initial few waves are going to be Walmart exclusive for 2020, but after 2020, they're going to be available all major retailers. Very vintage feel to the figures, packaging and the figure. They even got the little indentation in the bubble like the vintage figures had. Instead of the action gimmicks, they got more cinema like the twist into powerful battle positions, and instead the twist and punch power motions like the vintage figures had. First wave, we had the He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Evil Lyn, and Beast Man. Each of the figures come with a comic book, but this right now looks like they're all the same comic. The Beast Barrage. Unlike the Masters of the WWE Universe, each one has it's not really a full comic, but you get a booklet individualized for each character. With the figure John Cena, and the Macho Man Man-at-Arms. The only regrets about these things, you almost want to get two of these so you can have a mint on card and one you can open, because there's such a neat look to them. Vintage feel. Alright, let's open this up and take a closer look. Try not to damage the comic. It's a mini comic. So, the armor is sort of a little baggy and like attached to the baggy on the back of the packaging. And arms in the package. Let's cut the bands and free Man-at-Arms. Here we have Man-at-Arms out of the packaging with all its accessories. So we have the mini comic, the Beast Barrage mini comic. But the artwork's pretty good in these little mini comics. I like them pretty well. It's a nice little throwback to the old days. The vintage of figures. I have the mini comics for add a little story to the figures. Unlike with the Masters of the WWE Universe, the Origins are having their original armor pieces sculpted for them. They have the new chest armor, the armbands, shin guards, wrist guard, and mace. With Macho Man, he used repurposed classics mace and shin guards. They're the same armor that came on the Palace Guards. And the same mace as well. But if you can see with the Origins Man-at-Arms, it's all new unique sculpts. With the a little more in scale with the 5.5s using the original sculpts as well. Here we have Man-at-Arms with his armor on and his mace, armed with his mace. And the armor fits really well. It's a little different from the classic style, which has the snap together armor. This you just force it through, got little tabs that keeps it from backing out of the slots. And it's fit nicely to the figure. Doesn't really hinder articulation much at all. Do wish these figures had up and down hinges for when they have swords and clubs. Right now they're in and out hinges. Not really very good for any kind of club weapon or sword weapons or even gun hands. You really need the up and down hinges. The articulation is standard for all these origins. You have the ball peg for the head, which allows for up and down and wobble all around. Disc hinges for the shoulders, allow for up and down movement, 360 rotation. Hinge and swivel elbows. They don't have bicep swivels, but they do have swivel at the elbow. They don't allow for a lot of movement in the elbows. Well, this one does, but this one seems a little restricted. I think I got some little flashing in this one. It's causing it to bind up a little bit. The wrists are hinge and swivel as well. I do wish they were up and down hinges instead of in and out for club type weaponry or swords or guns. We really need an up and down hinge for accurate being able to pose the weapons and properly. And we have a waist twist. Of course, they come apart at the waist. All the origins are meant to be popped apart, where you can mix and match parts. It's going to throw back the old original Master Universe figures. The hips are ball joints. You can have forward, out, back a little. You have hinge and swivel knees. You have a boot cut, and you have hinged ankles and ankle pivots, which allows much better posing ability than the original He-Man 5.5s back in the day, which you had the squat up and down arms and basically turn the head. That's all you had. Now for the detailing, I know what they're going for with the classic styling on these figures, but the paint is very minimal on these. I would have loved if they painted the wrist bracers. I wish they would have painted the eyes better. It's like, what's crazy is like they used the digital face printing on Tila. She looks fantastic. Like she's a premium figure. We have black dots for his eyes for Man-at-Arms. It's so odd to me. It's like, what? It's like you blow all the budget for the painting on Evil Lynn and Tila. It's just super detailed faces with a digital face print. And we get black dots for a lot of the male figures. I don't get it. My Beastman had some very wonky looking eyes and had a white paint splotch right here between the lip and the cheek. And so I ended up like detailing the face a little bit. And I ended up painting the chest armor too and the wrist bracers on him. It's like, I'll probably end up painting, adding a little paint, redoing the eyes on Man-at-Arms and painting the bracer. It's like, I like a little more detail in my figures, but my problem is I don't want to go too detailed so they'll match the line, because it looks like the later figures are going to have a little better paint. But then they also add so much better paint details to the Masters of the Universe figures as well. You have very detailed paint eyes. As in comparison, like with the Rock, you have, they paint the whites of his eyes. It's very detailed. It looks like the Rock. You have little black beady eyes and man arms. Let's do a little bit of comparison now. We have this is a little mixed match of man arms figures to over the classics. We have the classic man arms. You can see the classics are more of a 7-inch scale figure. And these are the 5.5s. So you're going to have a huge size discrepancy between the two, but the heads are about the same size. Which, unfortunately, we can't do just a swap between the two because the ball pegs are larger on the Origins figures because it's a smaller figure but larger ball peg. Can't just put a classics head on them. You can just rest it on there unless you really want to drill out your head, the head sockets, but I'm not going to do that just to put on these figures. I'll just end up just adding a little paint to mine. And we got let's do a little more comparison. We got speaking of the Masters of WWE, we have the Macho Man, who was homage to Man-at-Arms, using the classics armor. Even have the classics mace. But, these are very nostalgic style figures. Kind of brings you back to your childhood a little bit when they're fun little figures. Was hesitant about getting the line. I have so many Origins, but right now I really like them. I may end up getting quite a few more. Right now I have almost the entire wave. I need Prince Adam and the Sky Sled. That's the only thing I haven't seen in the stores so far. But hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope I'm getting better, and I'll see you all next time.